throughout the department. You know, as I said earlier, they come from patrol, from investigations all over. This is just a position where if you need it, you're called. You know, we're on call 24/7. We do break it down in regards to situations that might just need one or two of us to be called out. Things that might not need a full team response. Maybe you have a subject who's barricaded inside of the bedroom. We know the person does not have any weapons. Maybe we have a warrant that we need to serve, and there's a possibility that it might turn into a barricade situation. You always want to have somebody on call. And there are a lot of situations, some small minor situations that a negotiator might be able to calm a person and talk a person before it actually grows to a situation where you need to have a full tactical and negotiation response. But no, these positions are just part-time. We do train once a month. You know, the TAC team does train twice a month, but you know, we do train once a month. And what we try to do is we try to bring everybody in, and we go over various different you know, situations that we might encounter. But we also look at certain trends and certain new ideas throughout the nation, throughout the world, regarding hostage and crisis negotiation. You know, some of the big things that we've seen, we've dealt with lately, responses to domestic encounters. One of the biggest things in law enforcement we do have to respond to are fights in the home, whether it be between husband and wife or parent and child. It's a very heated situation, and we're seeing a lot of new techniques how to deal with that. Also, warrant services, gang violence that we're having out there. You know, we're training on how to deal with situations that might not be the norm that we have to respond to. It's such a wide field out there, and we try to be as flexible as we can. We also have individual training with the officers, and basically try to work on the actual positions that they might be assigned, whether that be intelligence gathering, whether that be coaching, or whether that be negotiating. We try to wear many hats. We try to address all of those areas.
Okay, and in your training, do you get into role playing at all? Is that part of it? That's
part of it. Usually the last 3 or 4 hours of our training, usually we try to come up with a scenario. Some of the more senior members of our team will actually look at past negotiations that we've had, or look in the news and maybe try to find some things that maybe haven't happened in Newport News but have happened in other 8 law enforcement agencies. And we try to come up with the most realistic type of situation as we can. We are going to try to start doing more training with our tactical team. And also, we are going to try to train more with some of the surrounding jurisdictions, Hampton, York County State Police, because they do have some teams. Actually, some of the areas have some rather young teams, and we're hoping that maybe we can learn from each other and kind of impart some of the knowledge that we have, and besides imparting the knowledge, actually get some of the knowledge that and some of the information scenarios that they've had from them.
Now, we've got people out here looking at the show and want to become police officers, which is great, but some of them maybe want to get on the crisis negotiation team. What would you suggest they do to move in that direction?
Well, first of all, what I would suggest they do is try to get as much education as they can. Whether it be, you know, if they're a high school graduate, try to go to some community college courses, or try to enroll in some night school, or try to get their 4-year degree. Look into areas such as communications, criminal justice, sociology, psychology. You know, if you want to join the police department and want to be a hostage negotiator, you know, these are the areas you need to look at. Also, you need to remember, when you come on the police department, when you graduate the academy, you're probably not going to immediately be a hostage negotiator. You're going to have to wait 2, 3, maybe 5 years before you can get to that position, because it is a pretty competitive position that we have here on the department. But the main thing is, every day when you're on the department, you are using your negotiation skills. Whether you go to a domestic, whether you're on a traffic stop, you know, dealing with people that are in crisis is it's very close to actually dealing with people on your everyday law enforcement encounters. Probably the best thing also is you need to have the proper attitude, and you need to be able to be a good listener and a good speaker, but more importantly, a good listener, because if you're talking all the time, you're not going to be able to pick up and find out what the problem is.
Okay, all right. So, final words then, and I'll ask each one of you just to give me a final thought about being on the hostage negotiation team, being a member of that team. Who wants to start?
I'll start off, and we'll go down the line, I guess. First of all, one of the things that I think we need to realize is the people that we're talking to, the people that we're dealing with, it's someone's son, it's someone's daughter, it could be someone's father, it could be someone's mother. You know, we're all human beings, and we need to care about each other, because if we don't, you know, our society is just gonna fall apart. It's one of the reasons why I'm a hostage negotiator. I believe that within inside of every person, there's good. And I think when we're called out, we're dealing with a person in crisis. We're not dealing with a thug, a criminal. What we're dealing with is we're dealing with a human being. And I think that's what we all need to understand, we all need to realize. You know what? We're police officers. Some people don't think we're human beings, but you know what? We are. You know, back in the 1820s when Sir Robert Peel came up with the whole idea of police departments, his idea was citizens serving the people, citizens being police officers. And that's what police department's about. It's citizens serving other citizens. And that's one of the things that I try to impart to anyone, you know, our officers on the street and our hostage negotiators and crisis negotiators that we have in the Newport News Police Department. We're dealing with people, we're dealing with our friends, our family, our community. We're part of that community, and we want to do our best, and we are committed to excellence.
All right. Detective?
I think that it's very important to remember that each person, when we're called out, it may be minor to those of us responding, the people on scene, the people in the crowd. Whatever the situation is may seem minor, but to that person at that time, it's a crisis for them. And no matter how minor it may seem to them, if we just listen to what they're saying, we can be that voice of reason. And when we're able to talk somebody out calmly and peacefully, it's very rewarding. Not only for that person, but also for their family members, because everybody is scared at that point in time. They don't know what's going to happen. The person behind the phone in the crisis situation is very scared. They don't know what's going to happen when they come out. Are they going to be, you know, they're afraid of being attacked by the police, attacked by the tactical team. And we just need to be that calm voice, as Detective Flight said, and, you know, just bring some calm to the situation, make them realize it's not as bad as it seems, and there is a peaceful solution. And once that's done, as I said, it's very rewarding to not only ourselves, but the family members and the community as well.
Okay, and MPO?
If I just had a final thought, it would be compassion. This team is made up of compassion, and we all have a job that we do. We all wear many hats in our job, but we all have one thing, that we have compassion for our community and for our citizens, and that we do want peaceful solutions for someone that is in crisis. Everyone isn't a thug, everyone isn't a murderer, everyone isn't, it can be your mother that just had a bad day, or your grandmother, or anyone else, or someone on alcohol, going through an alcoholic situation at that point in time. So again, we just believe in compassion and being able to speak to someone and listen.
And in listening to you, I understand why you are crisis negotiators. I want to thank you very much for being here, letting us know what the team does. And I want to thank you all for viewing Behind the Badge.